to life in the kingdom. Life in the kingdom. Life in the kingdom.
Welcome to Life in the Kingdom. I am your host, Pastor Celeste Johnson, and I'm here for another exciting episode of Life in the Kingdom. Here at Life in the Kingdom, we believe, you already know, the kingdom response should be the only response. Well, I'm excited tonight because we have a special guest that's with us that's going to be sharing such a powerful testimony with us on tonight. And listen, we're keeping with that theme, life after life happens. What do you do when life happens to you? And so tonight we're going to be talking about living after life happens. Listen, my special guest is here tonight. I'm just going to give you a little bit about her. Miss Marquita Bowman is a native of Orangeburg, South Carolina. Columbia has been her home ever since 2011. She is the supervisory program specialist at a child care facility on Fort Jackson. In August of 2003, she was diagnosed with stage 4 triple negative breast cancer and was given a prognosis of only 5 years to live. But this year, she celebrates 20 years of being a breast cancer survivor and thriver. Can y'all please help me welcome Miss Marquita Bowman to Life in the Kingdom? Welcome.
Oh my gosh, thank you so very much. I thank everyone for this opportunity. It's a blessing to be here, so thank you so much.
Yes, well, I'm excited. Listen, I want to give you as much time as possible to kind of share with us what happened. You know, we with keeping with that message, life after life happens. Obviously, you're already living, right?
Yes.
You're living 20 years,
Yes.
and you have a testimony, but
Yes.
I want to go back to when life happened. So just tell us about that. Tell us about that time in your life.
Well, at the time, I was a single mom living in Orangeburg, as you already know. I was getting ready to go to class. I was a full-time student, a full-time mom, and I took care of my mom at the same time. And I got up one morning and just felt the area of myself, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lump. And I was like, I didn't hit it, because we as women, we know if we hit that area in our life. And it was, matter of fact, July 4th, and all the offices was closed. And so I said, oh, well, I'll wait. So I called my dad, and he was like, it could be nothing. I said, well, Dad, I don't know, but I'm just going to go ahead and go to this cookout, and just, because in the whole entire time at this cookout, my mind was racing.
Right.
What could he be? Could he be this? Could he be that? So I tried to calm myself down. So the prior day after that, I went to the family health center, and the lady was like, oh, you probably could have hit it. And I'm like, ma'am, I know I didn't hit it.
Right.
And so she sent me to a doctor in Columbia, and that was 3 weeks later. At the time I found it, it was the size of a penny. By the time I got to Columbia, it grew to the size of a plum. So
In 3 weeks.
Yes, ma'am. 3 weeks.
So what is going through your mind when that's happening in 3 weeks?
Honestly, and I'm just speaking from the flesh, fear, anxiety, worry, like, because I'm a mom, I'm a daughter.
Caretaker.
I'm just like so many different things. I'm like, Lord, I want to live. I don't know what this is. When I went to the breast center at Palmetto Richland at the time, they did the biopsy, they did the mammo, they laid me on the table, and it could be, he was like, it could be nothing. I was like, okay, sir. So I'm crying, because I am of the flesh, so I'm scared. And my dad was like, it's going to be okay. I was like, okay. 3 or 5 days later, I got this call. I'm heading to class. The doctor said, Ms. Bowman? I said, yes, sir. And he said, it's what we feared. And I was like,
Oh my goodness.
I didn't hear anything else but what we feared. I heard the Charlie Brown lady, wonk, 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 because it was
Nothing
just
else.
nothing else. It was just scrambleness in my mind. And I was like, he said, will you be okay? I said, no, but I will be.
Wow.
So just give me a moment. And so I hung up and I cried. I got on my face. I just tears, and then I heard God say, get up. So I got up, cleaned my face, got myself together, and went to class.
Wow. So obviously, there had been a foundation of faith already there.
Yes.
In order for you to even be able to hear God.
Yes.
At that point, because I believe that point was like one of the lowest points.
Yes.
To hear that news.
Yes.
Especially if it was already going through your mind. So talk about that foundation of faith that was there, even when you didn't even want to use it necessarily.
Man,
but
listen.
God steps in and says, daughter, get on up.
Get on up. It's like, because, you go to church, and my mom was a Methodist, my dad was a Baptist. You do the normal church routines. But until you experience God for yourself,
wow.
Because people can pray for you, but it takes yourself to step out there and do it yourself.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like my grandmother can pray for me, my mom and dad, my aunts can pray for me, but until I experience that life myself, until something happens, and I hate to say that, but when something happens to make you see God's face, that's when life happens. And I'm like, okay, God, this is something I didn't expect. Why me? And we always ask those questions, why me? And then his answer, why not you?
Why not you?
I prepared you for this. You just don't know what I have in store for you. So you have to walk this out, and I got you. And I'm like, okay.
So what happens after that? So now you're in class now. So I'm pretty sure you have to go back to the doctor.
Yes.
What's happening at this point?
So after going to see my oncologist, she said, well, you have stage 4. That's when they take your blood and they know, all what you have.
So
and
this is stage 4.
Yes. Not stage 1, not the lumpectomy that most people get. No, this is stage 4. So she gives me this chemo that's supposed to shrink it, but it didn't do anything but feed it. So by the time I got to her and started taking chemo, my whole breast had been just overtaken with this tumor. So that's how the cancer grew so rapidly. They were astonished. They thought the chemo that they first give me was going to shrink it. No, it was just like whatever it was eating. I said, oh my God, what is this?
Right.
And she said, well, Marquita, you have 2 options. You can die, or we can take your breast. Here you go.
Take it.
I'd rather life.
Come on.
Yes, and at the time I was going to New Mount Zion with Reverend Anderson, and he said, you have to give your mom and your son back to God and focus on you at this moment, because you have enough going on.
Right.
And my son was 9 at the time, and I'm like, how do I do that? Because all I know is my mom and my son, just being a caretaker. That's all I know. But I said, and so in the physical realm, I was just like, okay. So in the spirit, I said, just like this, I handed him, here's my mom, here's my son, and I felt lighter.
Wow.
It was just like a whole, just something just was lifted off of me.
And so see, what do you do when you have to have faith for your healing and faith for your life? So now you're talking about your son, which is at an impressionable age.
Yes.
And so now you're like, okay, I can't properly heal and still carry the burden, because a lot of times we don't understand that healing, that all of that plays a part in healing.
Yes.
We do, oh God, just heal me. But there's some things that we need to do to ensure that we're in the proper space and faith.
Yes, ma'am.
For the healing.
Yes.
So what's going on at this time? You give your son to God. You give your mom back to God, and then what?
And then I started getting scriptures. He told me to put scriptures around the house, like daily routines. Right. Put little sticky notes. Believe you are healed, so I am healed. And faith without works is dead. Like different things just popped up in my head. Now, mind you, I read the Bible, but the scriptures wasn't coming to me at the time. But now they were just coming to me, and so I put sticky notes everywhere I can find, like in my bathroom. Because the first thing we do as ladies, we go to the bathroom and look at our face. Right. And so we just. And I started seeing these scriptures, and I started writing notes in my car, and even when I was at school, I would just turn to a notebook in my, and I'm like, this is stuff that I needed for me.
Right.
Because my faith is being tested, not nobody else's. Ooh. So it's like, I had to walk this faith journey out for myself.
Not just reading.
No, I had to just say the things that I want to happen in my life. And then I remember saying, God, I want to see my son graduate high school. I want to see my son create a family and get married. And I started saying these things. I want to see myself get married and have kids and just go off and do bigger and better things, be an educator. I started speaking those things as though they were. And so that's the only thing I had at the time was my faith. And I kid you not. And people they wanted to know, like, well, why didn't you tell me? And I thought me and you were friends at the time.
Yeah, you got to be surrounded by the right folk.
At the time.
Come on, talk about
that.
At
the time, y'all, I couldn't tell you because it wasn't led for me to tell you. If I told you, that means God told me to tell you.
Right.
But at the time, I couldn't tell you because I didn't want your pity. I didn't want you, oh, Marquita, I'm so sorry. I needed your prayers.
Faith. Come on, faith.
I didn't need the pity. I need the prayers at the time.
Right.
And so my faith had to come into action. Well, Lord, tell me who I need to come to. And he connected me to the right people.
Right.
And it was my dad and a couple of my aunts and a couple of my good friends. But it was small. It wasn't like 20 people.
Right.
I know a lot of people. But at that time, I needed that close-knit of people to come and to surround me with their love and their prayers.
That's
not the pity.
That's it.
Not the pity.
Because pity don't move God.
No.
Only faith moves God. And that's a word right there, because whenever you're in a situation, whether it's healing for your body, whether it's a situation going on in your life,
yes,
you have to be in a faith environment.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that you can't tell everybody everything. And that's the first thing some people do is we run and we want to tell everybody what's going on, and not understanding that their words can cancel what you believe in God for.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you got to have people that are speaking the same thing you're speaking.
Speaking
and so
life.
at this point in your life, that's all you have.
That's all.
Is your faith. So you can't afford, at this point in your life, you can't afford to have anybody that's going to speak the opposite of what God is saying.
And what I was believing, I didn't need the negative. I didn't need the pity. I didn't need the pity party. I didn't need the, oh, girl, what's she going to do? And, oh, girl, what about her son? I didn't need that.
Right.
And so God didn't have me to tell. A little later, I told. But when I listened, I heeded his voice. So it's like you can't jump before God when he has things lined up for you, because you don't want to go from A and then to F when he said, no, Marquita, I told you to go from A to B to C, and you already jumped ahead of me. So now you got to sit here and wait. It's like waiting at the light, and then you're like, oh, God, is it my turn? And nope, you jumped ahead of me. So you got to just be patient. Just work in that season you're already in. And so that's basically what it is. It's just like you have to listen to God. Whatever he tells you to do, it's not to belittle you, it's just to uplift you and to motivate you, and just to listen to what he says, because he wants to get the glory out of all of this. And it's like we can't be selfish. And so when I was going through my walk, I had to remove myself, because I know there was a story coming later. I just didn't know how big the story was going to be. I just didn't know. I didn't know.
So how long, what was the process? So after, they do the mastectomy, what's the process after that? Did you have to do anything else, or?
They encourage radical mastectomy. I had a radical mastectomy. So they encouraged the reconstruction. I didn't want to do it because that surgery itself is life-changing. It takes a lot out of you. And so I was just like, no. My dad encouraged me. He was like, Marquita, go ahead and do this. And because you want to be whole, and I want you to be, comfortable with yourself.
Right.
And so when you get married one day, that person can be comfortable. And I'm like, Dad, I hear what you're saying, but that's not for me. For the person that God has for me, the person that God has for me is going to accept my flaws, my scars, and my imperfectness. Because we are imperfect people. I can't walk around here and tell you I'm clean slated because I am not.
Come on.
Because I learn by living, and you live by the word of God. And yes, we fall, but you don't stay down. So after I had my surgery, I continued to heal, and I continued to walk this thing out. And I did 28 cycles of chemo. I went once a week to Columbia because I was still living in Orangeburg. Right. I did 28 cycles of radiation after the chemo. Wow. So I did a whole month of radiation. And everybody's like, well, what? Mind you, the doctor gave me 5 years to live. I don't even think I told Sister Renee this. Wow. The doctor gave me 5 years to live after my surgery. Wow. I'm coming out of this surgery, and I'm coming through, recovery or whatever. And the doctor told my dad, well, your daughter did good in surgery, but we give her 5 years to live. Wow. And because we had to take 15 lymph nodes, because you have lymph nodes under your arm. So they took 15 of these, and, they took my breast. And my dad was like, oh, okay, but the devil is a liar. Doctor speculates. God knows. 5 years, and it's 20 years and counting for me now. Come on. They just added a number because that's what they thought they saw. But God saw something else differently. Come on. You can't tell me 5 and I'm still living 20 years later. They told me I couldn't have any more kids, and I have a daughter here that's 12, about to be 13 next month. So you don't know what I go through and what I've been through, and the faith that was installed in me. And my faith is still growing because your faith can't stay at one level. Each time you got to keep moving. You got to keep growing. Your faith got to be expanded. Only because of God. Wow. So I'm here only because of God, not because of what I do, what I say, what I've lived like. I'm here because of God. Wow. And so my story is to be told because he tells me to tell it when I'm asked or when I'm led to. Yes.
Hello, Pastor Celeste here from Life in the Kingdom. I'm certainly glad that you continue to watch Life in the Kingdom week after week. The amount of support and love that we have been receiving here at the Life in the Kingdom show has been tremendous. It lets me know that this ministry is being a blessing to those of you that watch week after week. It is our aim to be a blessing to those of you that are out there, those that are in the body of Christ, as well as those that will come into being the part of the body of Christ. We want you to be blessed by everything that we do. I want you to consider partnering with us with $25 or more so that we can continue to bring messages like this to you every single week. The giving information should be right there on the screen. I want to encourage you now more than ever, partner with us so that we can continue to take this word to the nation. God bless you, and continue watching and supporting.